Top of the morning, folks. You know this is it. You know who this is. You know what to do. So we gonna get right to it. And this morning it's gonna be a special session, because I want to give a shout out to a particular group of people. This particular group of people, is completely aware of our political portfolio and the current conditions that's facing us as a nation today. So, and this special group of people is fighting for the prosperity, you know, for the freedoms and for the liberties of every citizen in this country. And that's very patriotic. And, I know a lot of people just really don't see the war that's waged against us as citizens, but it's there. It's there. I mean, you could look at all the legislation that's being passed as of recently, that undermine our rights and strip away our civil liberties. You know, I mean, you don't have to look no further than that to realize that there's a war against us. And this particular group of people recognize this and is doing everything in their power to offset it. So I want to give a big ups and a big shout out to all Ron Paul supporters. This special shout out video is particularly for you guys. Excuse me. And I'm doing this shout out video because of all the work that you guys are doing to install libertarian principles back into the mainstream forefront of this country's political structure. And I love that. So I know I may do these blunt sessions and smoke on my reefer, which is actually good for you, you know, more so than being bad for you. Actually, this has a lot of medical benefits. We're not gonna get into that. That's not the purpose of this session this morning. And so I'm gonna name off some names, of some forums and of some particular people. And if you don't hear your name, that doesn't mean this video is not. That doesn't mean this video isn't for you. This video is for anyone who supports Ron Paul. Anyone. I'm gonna give a special shout out to Alexander Law. He started a Republican debate group, a few months back, and it's very popular on Facebook, and it actually inspired another Republican debate group. The reasons may be adverse, but it still inspired, the other group. And I learned a whole lot from participating in both debate groups. So I want to give a big ups to Alexander Law and also the admins of the new Republican debate group. I want to give a big ups to you guys too. I want to give a big ups to the We the People Network, Wash Your Laundry. I love what you guys is doing. And basically, what We the People Network goal is to you know, unify all these forums and all these groups, radio stations, talk shows, what have you. We the People Network. The main goal is to unify all these voices, so we can speak in unison as one voice. Because a few voices here and there can scream and shout, but a million voices together can roar. So a big shout out to We the People Network. A shout out to the Ron Paul Revolution Facebook group, the Revolution Facebook group, Ron Paul Revolution's Friends Networking for Ron Paul. I just want to give a big shout out to those groups and the Facebook Tea Party. Some of these are my groups. I'm not gonna name off my personal groups. But moving on. Tony Samani, if I pronounce your last name, I'm sorry, but I want to give a shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to James M. Ray. These particular people I'm naming off, I learned a whole lot from, just by conversating in these debate groups and actually debating in these debate groups. So, Tony Samini, James M. Ray, shout out. Shout out to Am Paulista. Shout out to Keith Liberty. And shout out to Tim Holloman. And shout out to Governor John. Again, these are Facebook profile names. Joseph Icardo, big shout out. Um, Excuse me for a second. Still morning, so my mind still, acting up on me. Anyway, big ups to Douglas White, um, Alan Russo, James Grady Cutter, and Sean Hallam, Marcus Watson, and Joshua Hatcher, and Keith Blythe, Sabine Marie Paulina, Genevieve Daniels, Wonder Wendy, Tina Leaf, Liberty the Fan, Missy Bada Bean. A special shout out to the Blue Republican group. These are a group of ex-Democrats. That's pretty much tired of Obama's crap. It won't support any Republican except for Ron Paul. That's just because Ron Paul is on a Republican ticket. Again, if I haven't mentioned your name, or I haven't mentioned your forum, it's still much love. And once again, this is to all the Ron Paul supporters. And before I close this, let me give a special shout out to Karen, Chad, and Amina Didit, Joy Lovinghood, Susan Gibson, Tim Schmidt. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, again, I apologize. I'm gonna pretty much wrap it up here, folks. It's just a special shout out. Everybody keep doing what you're doing. I love how the Ron Paul camp has infiltrated the GOP and it's pretty much become the Trojan horse of the GOP, because the GOP, the Republican Party, it needs a makeover if they go keep on nominating clowns like John McCain, or they keep on promoting Mitt Romney. They need a makeover, because those cats will not win the general elections. And we actually need a president. You know we need a president that's gonna stand up and represent the the interests and the will of the people, instead of the interest and the will of Goldman Sachs and all the other banks that's in the Federal Reserve Circle. That's putting the most dollars towards this presidential campaign. So I'm gonna leave it on that note. Again, a special shout out to all Ron Paul supporters. And this session is over.